Okay, I just don't really have any choice but to speak to this. I don't think anybody that's friends of mine on Facebook could possibly be this stupid, but you'll notice that the guy that shot the lawmakers in Minnesota, that unbelievably the media is trying to convince you that he's MAGA, let alone Republican, because apparently he registered as a Republican at a certain time. If you're in Idaho, you know that we just missed the bullet on this whole open primary garbage. I could tell you, I know of massive numbers of Democrats in Idaho, ultra liberals, who are registered as Republican. They do it every primary so that they can try to take over the control of the Republican Party. That's what that whole fight was about. What you're registered at is just what you can register in Idaho for whichever party you want to, contrary to popular belief. What they were pushing for was to be able to vote in all primaries, both Democrat and Republican, which there's no point in it. So the fact that this guy is on a piece of paperwork somewhere as a Republican, let's think about that for a second. So if he's a Republican and that is what motivated him to murder and attempt to murder the only two moderate Democrats with a conscience in the entire state of Minnesota, you're trying to tell me that if being MAGA, and that was his motivation, to become a crazed gunman and murder people, he would pick the two Democrats who worked with Republicans to deny taxpayers funding non-citizens getting benefits like Medicaid, etc. I mean, out of all the left-wing liberals in Minnesota, he was motivated as a MAGA, quote-unquote, person to murder the two Democrats that risked everything, obviously now their lives, to vote for something that MAGA would be entirely in favor of. Unbelievable. And if you still, after that, you still watch any mainstream media, you're beyond hope. There just is no hope for you. So many of us have demonstrated this so many different ways. But maybe, I don't know, if you know somebody that's that dumb, maybe you can just point that out to them. Beyond that, I've heard or seen also that in Minnesota, they have open primaries, of course. I guess I missed pointing that out in the beginning, so that makes it pretty obvious why, if he was registered as a Republican. But my understanding is they don't list your affiliation in Minnesota according to Minnesota laws. I can't speak to that 100%. But, you know, I mean, seriously, if you come across anybody that tries to claim somehow that this guy would be MAGA, that's not the only thing that stinks about this whole thing. It's kind of odd. The police show up. They have a exchange of gunfire. The guy goes in the house and murders two people. And he's at least as out of shape as me. Somehow he evades law enforcement. You know, I mean, gets away with it. They don't apparently follow him into the house. You know, he's allowed to go in there and kill two people. There's a number of things that are wrong. And they describe him as having a brown hat. And he leaves that exact brown hat by one of his abandoned vehicles, real obvious, out in the open for people to find. So this whole thing stinks of the left. It's just a really, really convoluted, disorganized attempt at something by the left. I don't know what it was supposed to accomplish other than to teach people a lesson in Minnesota, that Minnesota is so horribly corrupt that no other Democrat's going to break ranks probably for quite some time in that state. But hopefully the chilling effect might make liberal, ultra-liberal Minnesota, the land of Tampon Tim, maybe reconsidering voting for so many Democrats. That's all I got to say on that. I didn't have any choice but to speak to it. It's just such a ridiculous argument.